Now the plates were cleared. Jungkook stood barefoot in the living room, wiping the blood-streaked mirror Taehyung had punched the night before. He didn't ask questions. He didn't complain. He just quietly cleaned the shattered pieces, careful not to leave any sharp edge behind. Taeyang stood by the window, sipping warm tea. His expression was blank, but his eyes watched Jungkook. Every small movement, every sigh. When Jungkook finally sat down on the edge of the couch, rubbing his hands together, the silence between them grew heavy again. Taeyang, I'm sorry for everything, for lying, for hiding who I was, for hurting you. Taeyang didn't move right away. He just stared out of the window a moment longer, then slowly turned around. His face was calm but unreadable. You already said that. I know, I just feel like I need to keep saying it until it matters. Taeyang walked closer, but didn't sit. He stood in front of Jungkook, looking down at him. He stopped himself. He looked away, jaw clenching. Why softer now? The silence returned, but this time it wasn't cold. It was filled with something unspoken. Jungkook lowered his head, hands in his lap. I would take it all back if I could. The lies, my past, everything that hurt you. You can't change the past. No one can change the past. I agree, but I can stay and protect you and try to be someone better. Taeyang finally sat beside him on the couch, not too close but not far either. He set his empty teacup down and stared straight ahead. I don't forgive you, Jungkook, not yet. Jungkook throat tightened, but I didn't make you live either. I don't know how to hate you because I can't do it after seeing your face, hearing your voice, and that means something. Jungkook turned his head slowly, looking at him with wide, searching eyes. It means everything. Taeyang didn't reply, but a moment later he gently reached for Jungkook's hand, resting his fingers on top of it, light, hesitant. He didn't look at Jungkook, but he didn't pull away either, and that was enough for now. Taeyang still sat beside Jungkook on the couch, his hand resting lightly over Jungkook's. The room was quiet, peaceful. But under the peace, something darker waited, something unspoken. Jungkook stared at their hands for a moment. Then he slowly lifted his head, looking at Taeyang's side profile. Taeyang, there is something you need to know. I don't want to hide anything anymore. Taeyang turned his eyes slightly, but said nothing. Jungkook continued, his voice low and careful. My father, Yunshin, he is not chasing you just for revenge or power. It's something more. Taeyang's expression didn't change. He wants the blue diamond, the one your father hid, the one that's worth more than all our family empires combined. Taeyang's eyes finally met his, sharp and steady. I know about the diamond. My father told me when I was a teenager that it existed, but he never said where he hid it. Jungkook nodding slowly. That's why my father gone this far. That's why he used Yona to enter your family. Why he killed your parents. That diamond could fund his power for generations. Taeyang looked away, jaw tight. I searched the mansion after they died for years, but I never found anything. If I'm not wrong, Yoonmin might know something. Taeyang looks at him confusingly. He has been guarding the mansion quietly without my father knowing. I didn't understand why at first, but now I think he is protecting more than just memories. Maybe files, maybe a map, maybe the truth. Chang sat still for a long time, his eyes distant. The name of his father, the diamond, the death, the betrayal, it all came rushing back. So all of this, my parents' death, my broken heart, your lies, it's all come back to a diamond. No, it's come back to power and greed. The diamond's just simple, but it's not the only thing worth protecting. Jiang turned to him slowly. Jungkook's eyes were honest, steady. I'm not here to take it. I don't care about the diamond. I just want to stop him before he takes everything else from us. For a second, Jiang didn't move. Then he let out a breath and stood. If Yoongi knows something, we will go to him. Jungkook stood surprised. But I'm not doing this because I trust you, but I'm doing this because I trust Yoongi. Jungkook nodding with a small, sad smile. That's enough for now. But Taeyang, my father shouldn't know I came here. If he even hears your name near mine, he will get suspicious. Taeyang nodded slightly without turning around. The room was quiet again after the heavy conversation about the diamond. Taeyang stood by the window, arms crossed. Jungkook leaned against the dining table, eyes lowered. So I will tell Yoongi that you want to meet him. He won't question that. Once he agrees, he will decide what to do. He's smart like that. Taeyang finally looked at him, studying Jungkook's tired face. Fine. Jungkook giving a small nod, but then, without warning, his voice shifted, softened, almost like he didn't mean to speak aloud. You know, I was the one who stopped Yoongi every time he tried to go against our father. Chiang blinked. He tried to bring him down so many times. I blocked him, fought for father's empire, for his legacy. I thought I was doing the right thing. He let out a shaky breath, like the words had been trapped inside him for too long. I was trained to protect the empire. I was his favorite, his weapon. Every time Yoongi tried to fight back, I was the shield, the knife. Chiang remained still, watching him carefully. But the same father I protected tried to sell me. After my accident, when I couldn't remember anything, couldn't see, I was useless to him. His voice cracked. It was Yoongi Heng who saved me. He hid me, took care of me like I was a child. He fed me, cleaned my wood, sat beside me every night. His face clenched slightly, shame clouding his face. I remember how I used to talk to him before the accident. So rude, cold, like he was the enemy. But he was like a mother to me. He didn't even hold it against me. Chiang didn't speak, but his heart was turning with new thoughts. He looked out the window, then slowly down to the floor. Then why didn't you protect my family, Yu Why didn't you stop your father when he took everything from me? A pause. His eyes softened as the question realized firm. But wait, you were just a teenage boy back then. Powerless, alone, maybe you couldn't. He looked back at Junguk, who was still standing there, hunter, guilt written all over his face. Chang didn't say a word, not yet, but something him was shifting, understanding slowly. The past was complicated, but maybe not everyone in it was villain, he thought. Jungkook stepped into the grand hallway of the mansion. The lights were dim, but cold eyes were waiting in the shadows. Yunshin stood at the top of the stairs, dressed in black, glass of wine in his hand. You are late. Jungkook froze, then slowly bowed his head. Yunshin cutting in. Where were you all the day? I haven't seen you in this mansion all day today. Before Jungkook could speak, another voice echoed calmly from the stairs. He was doing something for me. Both had turned. Yoongi was descending the stair, calm and unreadable as always. He moved like a shadow, but his words carried weight. I sent him to follow up on a possible lead about the blue diamond, something your people missed. Yunshin raised an eyebrow. And why would you care about the diamond all of a sudden? Because if you find the damn thing, you will stop destroying everything around you to chase it. There was a silence. Yunshin smirked, but his eyes stayed sharp on Yoongi. You really think a piece of stone will change me? Yunshin's smirk disappeared for a brief second, then he turned to Junguk. Next time, tell me when you leave. I don't like even shadows moving without my command. He downed the rest of his wine and walked off into the darkness of the hallway. Jungkook takes a deep breath. Then he looks at his brother, nods slightly, and runs towards his room. Jungkook sat on the edge of his bed, removing his shoes slowly. The weight of the day finally settled in his chest. A knock sounded, soft but familiar. Yoongi entered without waiting for permission. You okay? Yeah, thanks for covering me, Hank. Can I call you that? Do I still have the right to call you Hank? Yoongi walked over to Jungkook and sat down next to his younger brother. Jungkook was looking at him like he had made a big mistake. He had, but that was in the past. He had done everything his dad said and thought, though it was the right thing to do. That's the past, Jungkook. No one can change the past. You were an obedient son who did everything to get praise. You didn't know what was right or wrong. If they hadn't killed Taeyang's parents, I would still be doing everything he said. Did he let you in? He did. He even feed me, Hank. After everything, he is a little hesitant. I agree that he must feel the way after all the lies. But it really hurts. If I were him, I wouldn't let him be near me for even a second, but he let me near him. He always had a strange heart, cold but soft in the places that matter. I told him everything about the diamond, about you, about what I did, and what you did for me. You didn't have to. That wasn't part of any plan. But it was part of the truth, and you deserve to be know for it. Not just as a brother who hides in shadows and fixes everything everyone's misses. They sat quietly for a while. The only sound was the distant ticking of the clock. I still remember how I treated you before that accident, and after that, how you treated me like I mattered, like I was still your brother. You were a pain in the ass, that's for sure, but you were mine. Jungkook laughed weakly, rubbing his eyes. I don't deserve you. I don't deserve him. I don't deserve anyone. None of us deserve anyone. That's why we are all in this mess together. We have all made mistakes, and we are all making mistakes. He stood up, walking to the door. Just before leaving, he turned around. Rest tonight, Jungkook was coming. And then he was gone, leaving Jungkook in silence with guilt, love, and the quiet strength only a brother could give. Yoongi was peeling an orange for Jimin, and they both turned their heads towards the door when they heard a soft knock. Jimin sat cross-legged on the bed, wrapped in a blanket, sipping the second cup of ginger tea Yoongi had made that day. Jimin gave him a look. Yoongi didn't move. Come in. The door cracked open and Jungkook stepped inside his hair damp and with sweat, a towel around his neck, fresh from the gym, in his black joggers and tank top. His eyes flicked from Yoongi to Jimin and his steps hesitated just slightly. Yoongi gave a nod. Jimin answered whether to smile or hide under the blanket, raised an eyebrow but stayed still. Jungkook cleared his throat to Jimin. Congratulations, I heard about the baby. Jimin blinked. There was a pause. Then he nodded, voice just as flat as the silence between them. Thanks. An awkward silence drops like a thick curtain. Jungkook shifted on his feet. Yoongi spoke first. You didn't come just to say that. Jungkook nodding eyes on Yoongi now. No, Taeyang wants to meet you. Yoongi's hand passed over the paper. Jimin softly looked up at the name. Jungkook lowered his voice. It's about the mansion and the diamond. I told him I had to ask you, but only if you wanted. He really said he wanted to meet me? Fine, I will go, but it happens on midterms. I have to make arrangements. Get some sleep, cook. I will handle it. Jungkook nodded and turned to leave, but paused at the door. Good night, Jimin. Jimin's after this time. Good night. Then he was gone, the door clicking shut behind him. The silence returned, but it wasn't the same. It was heavier now, with something building underneath. Jimin sat up against the headboard, one hand resting over his stomach, the other covering his mouth. His face was pale again. A sheen of sweat clung to his forehead. Yui came out of the bathroom with a cool towel and a familiar look of calm worry on his face. Noise again? Jimin nodded miserably, eyes closed. Whoever said pregnancy was beautiful clearly never carried a mafia baby. Yoongi chuckled under his breath, gently pressing the cool towel to Jimin's forehead. I didn't know my child would make you this dramatic. Dramatic, Mr. Mafia Yoongi? I poked 3 times in one night. My bones hurt, my skin's dry. I can't stand half the smells in this house, especially your expensive soap. And get me started on your quiet, I don't speak unless the word ending attitude. Yoongi gave him a small amused look, continuing to tap his forehead. You're glowing. That's just sweet, you brainless mafia head. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Yoongi slowly slid closer, placing a gentle hand over Jimin's belly. You're strong, you know. I wish I could take the pain from you. Sometimes I wish that too. Yoongi stayed silent. His thumb slowly stroked over the fabric of Jimin's shirt. I think about the baby all the time. What will the baby look like? Sound like if the baby will have your eyes or my silence. I hope they have your calm and your patience. They will need it, especially if they end up with my attitude.